With 4 rounds of racing behind them, the riders of the APBA National Watercross Tour have made the trek to Lake Ontario in Rochester, New York for the 5th round of the racing season.
Yeah, this year everybody stepped up their game.
You just have to be confident. It's hard to go out and win every moto, but this weekend and the upcoming weekends to racing is very important to be consistent and do good.
And with riders battling for position in the point standings, the 5th round from Rochester could become pivotal for those atop the leaderboard, or can allow riders who have struggled thus far to pull closer.
I can figure out how to get in front. It's hasta la bye-bye to the competitors. The whole shot's everything here, and I know it's going to be the same at Harbor Beach.
So the points battles will be intense for all involved. Coming up next, it's round 5 of the APBA National Watercross Tour, right here from Rochester, New York. Ontario Beach Park in Rochester, New York. It's time now for round 5 of the HydroTurf APBA National Watercross Tour. Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to another round of watercross racing. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ian Howard. Well, the tour rolls into Rochester, New York, which notoriously through the years has been a big challenge for all these racers. But this weekend, the forecast looks absolutely picture perfect. Clear skies, lots of sun, and we have calm water conditions, which should make for high-speed racing. As always on the tour, we'll have all the professional runabout and stand-up ski divisions, and Dave Arnold will be along in a moment to help me with the call. It's all coming up next right here from Rochester, New York. And let's take a look now at the class specs for GP Ski. It's a class that's replaced the Pro-Am Ski Open division from a year ago. Stand-up ski division, 2- and 4-stroke engines allowed up to 1,100 cc's for normally aspirated engines, or 900 cc's for supercharged. And what distinguishes the GP class from the Open class from a year ago, riders can use any hull and any engine configuration. You'll see speeds in excess of 70 miles per hour. Highlights for Moto 1 of GP Ski, 7 riders in the lineup, all classes running a 2-moto format, combining results from both motos to determine an overall winner. And up front early on, Bill the Hurricane Haig of Raleigh, North Carolina would take command, looking for his first moto win of the season. The Canadian Conrad Cole, who won the Nationals last year from Nashville, Tennessee, in his first race of the season would run in second. Points leader Rick Shirker of Doylestown, Pennsylvania would run third as he would try to catch the leaders, but it would be all Bill Haig, the 23-year racing veteran. They call him the Hurricane. He would go on to record his first moto win of the season. So to the Moto 1 results, it was Bill Haig taking home the moto win, a big confidence boost coming off a 6th and a 5th place showing at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
The big thing has been, getting the handling down on the ski. Struggled with that over the past few races. I feel like I've got that pretty much taken care of, and it showed a bit. I think there's still, more progress to be made, but it is feeling a whole lot better with the tinkering that we've been doing.
Second moto for GP Ski. Bill Haig trying for a 2nd consecutive moto win. Conrad Cole starting to the inside, didn't have a particularly good finish back in Moto number 1 as we're off racing. So it'll be interesting to see, Dave, if Bill Haig can record his 2nd consecutive Moto win of the season after not having great finishes in Myrtle Beach. But it looks like it's going to be the man from upstate New York, Carmine Colangelo, who didn't have particularly good finishes here in the years past. He's going to get the whole shot, Dave.
Yeah, he hasn't seen the podium yet in Rochester, but, he's been pretty consistent this year, and that's what it's about. 2 years ago, it was really windy. The swells were big. Last year, drizzly, cold. Today's beautiful, and you know what? When it's nice out, I seem to think that Carmine rides a little bit better. It makes him in a better mood, and plus the water's a heck of a lot smoother here.
And for Carmine Colangelo, if you look at his finishes over the years, not particularly impressive. A 6th and a 5th place back in his 2 rounds of racing here last year, and the same identical finishes the year before in the rebirth of the tour back in 2006. Bill Haig settles into that 2nd spot. So right now, if the race were to end, Dave, of course, a lot of laps still to go. Bill Haig with that 1st place back in Moto 1 and a 2nd place showing here in Moto number 2 would take the overall, as Carmine got a 3rd place finish back in Moto number 1.
Yeah, Bill needs to sit back there and protect his position now, but he's not going to let Carmine run away from him. He's going to definitely try to stay on him and shoot for that overall. It's about consistency, and fortunately Bill, he's had some struggles this year. He hasn't been as consistent. And Carmine, though, he has been the man of consistency. He's pretty much getting on the podium every round except for maybe, I think, 1.
Carmine Colangelo looking for his first overall victory of the season, had a 5th and a 6th to open up the season in Parker, Arizona, then a pair of third-place finishes, very solid from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, now trying to get off the snide here in Rochester and get his first overall of the season. But Bill Hague right in his tracks, running good, solid lines, and that's a veteran competitor, Dave. 23 years as a professional rider, no world champions to his credit, no national championships to his credit, but year in and year out, one of the top riders on the tour. We'll be back with more of Moto2 for GP Ski right here from Rochester, New York. Coverage of the APBA National Watercross Tour from Rochester, New York has been made possible by HydroTurf, by Ingalls Performance, by Honda, by the Monroe County Sports Commission, by Sea-Doo, and by Toyota. Welcome back to Rochester, New York, and coverage of the APBA National Watercross Tour, round 5 along Lake Ontario. And as we come back to race action, we'll reset the leaderboard for you. Carmine Colangelo looking for his first moto win of the season, continues to pace the field. 23-year racing veteran Bill the Hurricane Hague right behind in second place. The youngster Jimmy Wilson in third. Then the points leader Rick Shirker back there in fourth place. And while we have a moment, let's step away from the race action and bring you this HydroTurf Tech Tip with Bill the Hurricane Hague.
Here on the APBA National Watercross Tour, the biggest key to success is how well you start. 90% of the time, the first rider to the first buoy is the first rider to the checkered flag. All of that starts right here at the starting line with this pole and some really cool neon orange surgical tubing. The race actually begins when the starter holds up a 2-minute card. This signifies to the riders to start their engines and be prepared to start. Once the riders are all prepared, the starter rolls the car to 1. Anytime after that card goes to 1, this band will pop. This is the actual mechanism that triggers the band. It goes to a rod, which goes down below the surface of the water, to a foot pad. There's a person who stands behind here and actually steps on this pad, triggering the release of the band. The rider who times their start to the triggering of this band has the best opportunity of being first to the first buoy. Consequently, they also have the best chance of being first to the checker flag.
And thanks to Bill Hague for providing that tech tip. As we come back to more race action, Carmine Colangelo continues to lead it. And earlier when we caught up to Carmine, he told us the importance of getting a good start.
Yeah, the start is real important because it's flat water. There's not as many lead changes, and the start is pretty important. And everyone out there is riding good, and it's hard to get around people on flat water.
Things are really getting shaken up here on the tour. Of course, our points leader in this class, Chris McCluggage, is a no-show here, so that could danger his championship. And of course, Rick Shirker, who's sitting second in the points, in the back of the pack. So he might even be not a factor in this race and pump up Colangelo a little bit more in points, Ian.
And with the white flag out, Dave, you can quickly make the point in this GP class, which replaced the open division from a year ago. The big difference this year, you're allowed to run any hull with any engine configuration. Almost has become a hybrid class, but in effect, a lot of riders not really comfortable with their setups.
Well, yeah, it's difficult to figure it out. Some of the guys are sticking Sea-Doo motors in those Kawasaki holes, and making a square peg into a round hole sometimes doesn't work, but it truly is the engine builder's class, and it could be the wave of the future, bringing money back into the sport and bringing factory support.
Well, nice run by Carmine Colangelo as the checkered flag will come out. So Carmine will record the Moto2 win. He'll win the battle, but as they say, he won't win the war, because right behind him, crossing the finish line, will be the Hurricane, the 23-year racing veteran, Bill Hague. He won the opening moto and takes a second place here in Moto number 2. So Carmine Colangelo takes home the moto win, but the overall goes to Bill Hague for his 2 solid finishes. And as we look at the points chase after 5 rounds of competition, a new man on top, it's Rick Shirker. Let's go down and hear from our overall winner. That's Bill Hague.
Anytime you have the chance to be in front of the good group of guys that we have to race with, especially in the GP class, all this new stuff that we're